and family matters. And what we do here is that we come together as a family. Every Sunday evening by 5 p.m., we get to, sit together, talk about something that can make our family better. I am Ibukunoluwa Olagunju, but you can call me Oma Diwa. Today, we're going to be talking about something again. And of course, it's interesting, right? Because when it comes to family, there are different facets, there are different angles, there are different issues that we can just, look at. And at the same time, check out stories, bring professionals, and just make sure that we become better entities. And today we have a story about what a lady is going through. She's listening, and when it's time for us to check out her story on the show, we'll do just that. But before we check out her story, before you get to tell her what you think, let's talk about marriage. Okay, calm down. I'm not talking about the whole institution of marriage. Let's talk about the influence of family, parents especially, on the choice of who to marry. I mean, when it comes to nuclear family, we know that it consists of the father, the mother, and of course the children, which means that the root of such family is definitely marriage, which also means that your choice of partner can also set the tune of how that family is like. When it comes to our parents are the ones who brought you and I to the world. Without them, we probably would not be existing. And does this mean that the parents have the right to, have the highest influence on one's decision when it comes to the choice of who to marry? I mean, this has caused a lot of enmity. This has caused a lot of, fight between parents and children, between couples, and I just felt the need for us to talk about it on the show today. I mean, from primary school, there's the decision made by parents of which school the child is going to go to. My child is going to go to this primary school for so reason. The parents are the ones that make the decision of the secondary school that the children will go to. Even some parents are the ones that make the decision of tertiary institution, even the course of study for such child. I was a lawyer. I want my child to be a lawyer. I was a doctor. My child must be a doctor. Just taking that much control over the certain decisions of the children's life. And maybe it's a choice of trade or the choice of business that the child will learn, or the skill that such child will acquire if the child does not want a formal education. There's just so many decisions that are usually taken by the parent. And does this mean that the parent should also be given the right, or for lack of a better word, the opportunity to have such amount of influence on the choice of who to marry as well? Do you, when you get to that stage when you feel like, oh, okay, I'm ready for that stage of my life where I want to get married, do you go to your parent for advice? How do you even know when you get to that point when you're ready to get married? Is it like there's a nature you get to and be like, oh, okay, I don't reach marriage age? Is it like something that you have to make sure that you acquire? Is it money? Is it whatever? How do you know that you've even gotten to that level? And when it comes to the advice given by the parent, do you just embrace it, or is it that the parents are the ones that will say, oh, okay, I found wife for you, okay, I found husband for you, and just because you trust the parents so much, you just say, oh, okay, they've solved the problem for me, I'm just going to, marry the person? Or do you just present your choice of partner and it's just a done deal? Whether they agree or not is none of your business. You found the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and you're just going to go with it. I mean, we've seen instances of individuals say that, okay, I've met this person, and even though certain parents are probably against that institution, we've seen instances of a man and a woman still going ahead to marry despite the parents, kicking against such marriage, not supporting for whatever reason. Maybe it's one parent, maybe it's even the both parents that do not support. I mean, we've seen instances where children, bring partners home, and the parents say things such as, he or she is not good enough for you, he or she is not worthy enough for you, he or she is not exposed enough for you. Can't you see the family that he or she is from? I'm talking about the family that someone is from. there's a lot of conversation. I mean, that one is a topic entirely. Do you say that because somebody is from a certain family, that means such person is like probably someone that you've known from that family, and that person does not deserve a benefit of doubt, or actually that person being his or her own self that's accountable for what he or she must have done throughout the journey of the person's life so far? And Yoruba even have a proverb. They will say "Okoburuku shefe anaburuku nikosheni," or something like that. I'm just my student manager is giving me bad eye. I'm not able to get the proverb word for word, but I know that that's the interpretation of the proverb, that it is not just about the husband or the wife that you want to marry. It is also sometimes about the family as well. And to loosely translate the proverb that I just talked about, marrying the wrong or bad husband or wife, you can do that, but do not get yourself into the position of being in a family with a terrible in-law. And when it comes to a terrible in-law, the word terrible itself has different meaning to different people. Maybe the in-laws have a certain history, or maybe they believe that they are not of the same class, or the behavior that they've perceived of such family, or the antecedent of such family sometimes. And there's the saying that you're not just marrying the husband or the wife, but the whole family entirely. And dissecting that, really, when a man meets a woman and they say, oh, okay, we're not just doing this for play, we want to get married, really, it's the union of families as well, because the man's family becomes the woman's family, the woman's family becomes the man's family as well. So does this then mean that the decision does not just truly lie with the man or the woman, but also the family in the choice of partner? Because really, like I just said, one major thing or point that I feel that you and I, yes, you're listening right now, we're actually going to agree on this evening, is the fact that when it comes to parent, when it comes to elderly people in the family, they are more experienced. They are seeing life more than you can as a younger person. They have been able to witness other people's story. They have been able to see how people's stories unfold. They're able to see other people's experiences that you can as their child. And I'm not here to say, oh, okay, when it comes to the choice of partner, you have to listen to your parent. When it comes to the choice of partner, once you're sure you're going to be the one in the marriage, so stick with your choice and just, bone your parent and just get. I'm not here to tell you which to, go with this evening on the show. But I'm just here to say that sometimes when it comes to the choice of partner, whether we want to agree with it or not, it is one of the most crucial, most life-defining decision that a human being can take, because the choice of the person that you end up with can make or mar your life. So instead of being so fixated on who is making that decision, some people, because they just want to be a rebel, they just want to rebel against their parents. That is why they would marry who they want to marry, not necessarily because they even want to marry that person. So it's not about trying to, decide to be rebellious or try to obey. Maybe you feel like your parents have sacrificed so much for you, and you just feel like that's a way of compensating them. I am here to talk about how about really just trying to hear the reservation about the perspective that the parent or that elderly person might have about who the partner, that particular lady that you've taken home, that particular man that you have taken home, the perspective that they might have. How about just hearing that family member's different angle and then making that decision objectively? Because like it or not, the feely that you feel is clouding you, that's making you not to see the red flag, that's making you not to see clearly what this person is doing, how this person is talking to you, how this person, not just talking to you, how this person is treating a random stranger that you guys meet on the road that's making you not to see it, these are the things that might just stare you in the face during marriage. And these things are, are the core values, the innate values that are aligned, that would help fuel the relationship when all the butterflies, all the I cannot stop thinking about you, all this feely when they die. These are the things that, once they are missing, issues tend to set in marriage. And all I'm saying this evening is, how about, instead of saying that, oh, okay, this is 21st century, that's your time. That's your time. Even your time said even you should match make. They just say, oh, okay, Omolagbaja is single, how about you just, calming down, just, acknowledge what your parent might have against your partner. Sit down with it and be sure that it is something that along the way would not poke its head as an issue and maybe become too late to reverse. Because like the saying goes, out of every nonsense that you feel like somebody is saying, there will always be one sense. So how about calming yourself down and being sure that you're not overlooking the sense that might be in what that person is saying just because of the reasons that I've stated before. Because marriage is not I did this for my parents. Marriage is not I've been satisfying my parents all these years, so I just feel like I must make this adult decision in my life. So even though I've seen all these things, I'm still going to marry, I'm going to persevere, because they say that marriage is yes, you have to persevere some things, you have to compromise some things, but there are some things that should never ever be compromised. Because yes, you have to sacrifice in marriages, but marriage is supposed to be enjoyed and not tolerated at the end of the day. I married her for my parents, is not going to be the one to come and solve the issue. I married her for my brother, for my sister, for whoever. It's not going to come and stay in the house with that man or with that woman if you now say you're going to overlook, or maybe because you feel like, oh, I'm of certain age. Where am I going to start from? Let's even say I want to look at the points that my parents stated. Where am I going to start from? Would you rather go in and then come back to that same point that you did not want to go to after so many years, after so many things that you may not be able to recover have been sacrificed at the altar of you just, trying to not start all over again at whatever age that it is? Because at the end of the day, marriage is between you and your partner, and be certain that whatever decision that you make is the one that you can actually live with. Because once children start coming in, when I started, I talked about how marriage is the union of two families. When children start coming in, that's like another level entirely, because now there will be the excuse of, oh, it's beyond my partner and I have to think about what is best for my children. And there's, more and more sacrifices that sometimes people end up losing themselves. And they get to that point where they just ask, how do I trace back? Where do I start from? Because really, let's think about it. What sane parent, what good parent will kick against you bringing somebody that you say you love? Except they have reasons, except they can see certain things from their perspective that you just feel like maybe for one reason or the other, you just cannot see clearly at that point. Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Yes, they know that. But as parents, how about, trying to see from the angle and trying to see how just maybe they may have a point and carefully examining that? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to end this conversation by saying that the choice has to be yours, and yours utmostly, because you and that man, you and that woman will be the ones behind the closed doors. You are the demons that you guys were probably hiding under whatever facade is going to come out, and you would have to face it. But all I'm saying today is, how about honoring your parent and their reasons, honoring the elderly ones and their reason, even if you will not go with whatever reason that they're going, that they're given, but at the same time, you are able to objectively, consider it and see it through, just to be sure that you are able to really make the right decision, and not because of whatever reasons. I think I'm able to state some of the reasons at the beginning of the show. I hope you're able to pick one or two things from what we've been able to talk about on the show today. And I can remember, was it last week that I was saying how oftentimes as young individuals who feel like, oh, okay, marriage is going to help certain things. You feel like a certain person is this way, and you feel like, oh, okay, once we get married, this thing is going to disappear. Be sure that it is really going to disappear. Be sure that it is something that is really gone before you going into marriage, because sometimes marriage is that magnifier that would magnify whatever it is that you're trying to hide or that you're trying to bury. Like I said, we have a story on the show today, and we will be checking out the story real soon. But let's go on this commercial break. Then we'll play a song as well, and I will be right back for us to listen to that lady's story today on the show.
Are you satisfied with the level of your sales? Would you want to increase your customer base? Why not come do business with us at Splash FM 105.5, and we will help expose your products, goods, and services to our audience. Visit us today at our corporate head office, White House at Felele Ibadan, or call Tope on 0805 699 8685. Bukola on 0805 699-8713. Femi 0811-249-4234. You can also transact business at our Lagos office, number 1 Adebayo Akonde Center, Oba Akran Road, Ikeja, Lagos. Call Yetunde on 0805-699-86 or email us at traffic@splashfm105.5.com. You would be glad to do business with us. Hey, what are you waiting for? Visit www.splashfm1055.com for the latest headlines, videos, news, photographs of your favorite celebrities and on-air personalities, and daily updates. You can even upload and pay for your jingles on the website. Features also include exclusive access to what's hot and happening when you sign up as a Splash FM VIP. Get your own username and password. Click, click, click. www.splashfm1055.com.
If you no want diarrhea or nyama disease for your house, especially for your pikin, they use soap and running water to wash hand well, especially after you go toilet finish, after you clean your pikin bum, before you prepare him food, and before and after you give am food. But if your pikin get diarrhea, knock am zinc tablet one time every day, plus ORS every 4 hours, or make you dey give am small for inside cup. Because why? So that your pikin go dey bubble again and collect back everything when comot for him body. But shall make you carry am go for treatment for health center when near you pass. This message now from Ari Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Let's take it way back to songs that turned boys to men and girls to women. Join luminary DJ Eden as it takes you through sounds from the 70s, the 80s, New Jack Swing, High Life, and Juju. Luminary DJ Eden on the mix. Tune in to Splash FM 105.5 every Sunday by 6:30 p.m. and let's vibe to the oldies like never before. I've got a rhythm, child. I've got a rhythm, mama.
Your hustle just found powerful partners. HP's new laptop, powered by 11th generation Intel Core i5 processor, is built to get you closer to your goals. Long battery life, so you can work long hours without interruption, plus impressive speed and performance to match your grit and determination. HP ProBook 440 G8 Notebook PC 2X7U7EA, powered by 11th generation Intel Core i5 processor, is available at all DreamWorks stores. Call 0808-553-8331 or visit www.dreamworksdirect.com for more information. HP with Intel, the technology partners of your hustle. Look for Intel.
Ibadan elections are over, and it's time to come together as one. Join Benga Dink and friends at Laugh Matters the Southwest Unity Tour, featuring Q-Dot, Faze, SGXY, Jesse King Puga, Okebakasi, Funky Malam, Omar Baba, Dr. Smile, Baba Laria, General Lack, DJ Sexy, Baba Kamo, Archbishop, Wally Agba, Like Pashos Bose, Nepa Boys, Koja, Tai Chi, Paul the Good Guy, and more. Regular 3K, VIP 10K, Table of 8, Gold 250K, Platinum 500K. Tickets available at Fuko Supermarket Outlet, Gracie Mart Akobo, Grand X Store Outlet, Ultima Restaurant Outlets, Filmhouse Cinema Dube, and Samonda. Headcent Palms Mall and online at ariatickets.com. Date is the Sunday, 9th of April. Venue, Jogo Center Ibadan. Time, 3 p.m. Powered by Montina and Goldberg. Supported by the Oyo State Government. Laugh Matters, Ibadan. Kosi Pressure. Media partners, Splash 105.5 FM.
Definitely the plea that the lady that has come to the Family Matters family this evening definitely has. And right about now, we have to check out her story on the show today. This is the Family Matters on Splash 105.5 FM. I am Oma Joa. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we will be checking out a story, and of course the lady would like to hear what you think is best for her to do. concerning the situation that she has found herself. And this one is really a sad and pathetic one, if I do say so myself. Let's try to check out her story. She says, I am a 38-year-old lady. While planning and preparing for my wedding about 12 years ago, my husband and I had a disagreement about the choice of the hall to use for the reception. My husband slapped me. I wanted to call off the wedding, but both parents intervened. They pleaded on his behalf and made him promise that such would never repeat itself. My husband blamed the act on pressure of the wedding plans. So we went ahead with the wedding. But after about 3 years of the wedding, the beatings resumed. Around that time, he asked that I stop working as he's capable of financially taking care of the family. After my several pleas fell to deaf ears, I resigned from my job with the hope that this would help put an end to the beatings. However, the beatings did not stop. He would often tearfully apologize and blame the devil. It can go days without any care about how we are feeding our home. But he keeps talking about wanting a dozen children. It soon became unpredictable. I have since been trying to not provoke him with the hope that he would stop the beatings and continually provide for the home. However, I gave birth to our 6th child about 2 months ago, and he has been disturbing me about activities in the other room. I have tried to plead with him to give me more time to heal and be ready, most especially because of the tear I had while giving birth. But a few days ago, after same plea, he beat me up and has since stopped talking to me at home. This has made me paranoid. What could this man be plotting? Why does he act so heartless towards me? Could the silence lead to his change of attitude? Or what does this silence mean? Sometimes I feel like leaving the marriage, but I think of my children. Is this marriage still worth saving? Where do I start from at 38 with 6 children? What about the shame it will bring on my family? How do I handle this? Please help me. That's the story that we're checking out this evening on the show. Like I said, this one is a really sad and pathetic one. And of course, she is definitely in a dilemma for her to have reached out and, plead for her story to be shared today on the show. The number for you to call to let her know what you think is 0809 155 1055, 0809 155 1055, and we are currently live on Facebook as well at Splash FM 105.5. Okay, let's take a quick run through that story again so that I can be sure that you got all the angles. She says that she's a 38-year-old lady, and while planning and preparing for her wedding about 12 years ago, the husband, the now husband, and she had a disagreement about the choice of the hall that they were going to use for the reception. The husband slapped her. She wanted to call off the wedding as at that time, but both parents intervened. They pleaded on his behalf and made him promise that such would never repeat itself. The husband blamed the act on pressure from the planning of the wedding and everything, so they went ahead with the wedding. But about 3 years after their wedding, the beatings resumed. Around that time, he asked that she stop working as he's capable of financially taking care of the family. After several pleas fell to deaf ears, she said that she had to resign from the job with the hope that this would help put an end to the beatings that the husband normally gave her. However, the beatings did not stop. He would often tearfully apologize and blame the devil. The husband can go days without any care about how she and the children are feeding at home. But he keeps talking about wanting a dozen children. She's saying that the man became unpredictable, and she has since been trying to not provoke him with the hope that he would stop beating her and continually provide for the home at the least. However, she gave birth to their 6th child about 2 months ago, and the man has been disturbing her about activities in the other room. And she has tried to plead with him to give her more time to heal and be ready, most especially because of the tear that she had while giving birth. But a few days ago, after same plea, the husband beat her up and has since stopped talking to her at home. She's saying that the silence has made her become paranoid, and she had a lot of questions, like, I couldn't possibly put all the questions that she had in this particular story, but I was able to put down some of them. And some of them are, what could this man be plotting? Why does he act so heartless towards her? Could the silence lead to change of attitude? What does this silence mean? Sometimes she feels like leaving the marriage, but she thinks about the children. Is this marriage still worth saving? Where would she start from at 38 with 6 children? What about the shame that it will bring to her family? How can she handle this? Please help her. 0809 155 1055. That's how you can be a part of the show and let her know what you think this evening. And you can as well drop your comment on Facebook at Splash FM 105.5. Hello, good evening.
Sister, good evening, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Good evening, Samuel. Are you?
I was in a meeting. I was in a meeting hearing the program with my.
Go ahead.
I have to jump out from the meeting. But it's a bitter story. My dear sister, is it shame you want? Is it not somebody that is alive that is facing shame? Do you prefer shame? Do you prefer disgrace, or do you prefer death? Choose three. Is it shame? Is it the children, or is it your life that is more important here? Definitely, by God's grace, these children will survive. That man, I don't see love in this marriage, sincerely speaking. That man married you out of lust, not out of love. Cain can never change. Judas can never change. If Judas could have been changed, at least somewhere that the Lord Jesus Christ gave him could have made him to change. Likewise, Cain. This man, I don't see any change in him. For the sake of your life, sincerely speaking, at least take the children that is so small, the one that is 2 months now, then if you have 2 or 3, live with your parents, most especially your mother. Please leave that home for now. I'm not talking about divorce now. Pick your baby. If you have 2 or 3 or 4 years old, pick 2 or 3 of them. Leave that home for now, for your dear life. Please, and explain to your parents, explain to your mother. If they are capable, please let them take good care of you and your little baby. Then from then, know how whether you will resume your job. Please, then you will resume your job or look for something doing to support your parents or to support these children. Then move on with your life. I don't see any change in this man. As I said, this man married you out of love, not out of loss, not out of love. Please, don't mind the shame you are bringing to your parents. You are not bringing any shame to your parents. It's not your fault. Neither because of the children. That is why I say the 2 months old, carry him or her along. Then if you still have the little one, carry that one along as well. Go back to your parents for now. Separate from that man for your life's sake. When you are alive, you'll be thinking about shame and children. If you've gone, you have gone. The children will move on. The man will move on. Please, that is my advice to you tonight. Leave that home for now with your little baby. Go back to your parents. Then when that man comes down, at least let him sacrifice. That man did not deserve it. Move on with your life, yeah, and look for something to be doing that will take care of the little ones. That is my advice to you. Also with that man, avoid putting you to RIP. God bless you, my sister.
God bless you too. Thank you so much for that, Samuel. 0809 155 1055. What do you think? I mean, Samuel has said a lot. Don't let us forget the fact that the lady currently does not have a job. She had to resign because she was hoping that, okay, if she could do that for the husband, maybe that was going to give the husband a soft spot for her and make him actually stop beating her and leaving the home. According to what Samuel said, what happens to the innocent children? A man that can go for days with no care about how the family is feeding. What would happen to such children if she takes like 2 of them out of 6? That means leaving 4 innocent children with such a man. What happens to the children as well? And you know, when it comes to marital issues, we talk about how there are ways to work it out. We talk about talking to the parent, talking to the sibling, going for therapy. Are we saying that these things cannot work in this instance? Are we saying that the marriage is done for? What do you think? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Pastor.
What did you say?
My name is Akoya.
Alfred, happy Sunday.
Akoya, not.
I didn't get that.
Akoya.
Fasonya, right?
Yes.
Okay. How are you today, Fasonya?
I'm fine.
I'm good. What do you think?
Now, concerning these ladies issues, very, very complicated. There are several issues involved here. So there's no clear-cut solution to the problem. Due to 30 years marriage, 6 children involved, she doesn't have any job. And I guess the family, they are aware now, both as and women, they are aware that the husband has been beating her all this time. The family is telling her to continue to employ, so even blaming her for the beating. So there is no clear-cut solution to our problem. Now, at this point in time, she needs to make a decision. Does she want to survive, or does she want to keep hurting herself? Just like the last fella said, this thing is not fitting, this man is going to kill her. So she has to decide at this point if she wants to survive, if she really wants to leave. Then she probably has to separate from the man, get a job, see how she can manage the situation with her children, and get a life for herself. Because not until she has a life, she can't really do anything for now. And I guess the man has succeeded in manipulating her to the point where she has become so helpless and totally dependent on him, such that she can't do anything except depend on him. So she just has to have a life, get a life for herself, get a job, start doing some little things for herself, probably separate from the man for now. And I mean, we may never really say the man does not love her. The man might be going through some issues too. Probably emotional and psychological issues that he needs help with. So seeing the man, he wouldn't want to admit that he has problems. And if the man is not thinking she's going to die in that marriage, and with 6 children, the end of suffering. So she really needs to decide now, make up her mind. Does she want to survive? Does she want to keep a marriage that is already failing? The women don't care. They keep telling her to keep managing things. The man will choose, the man will choose. What if the man does not choose and they choose that? So what will happen to her? So the children. So she really needs to decide now if she wants to leave, then she should get a job and start doing things for herself. And gradually, I just think the behavior that she can't survive. But I don't think she should give up on the marriage.
Fasonya, are you there?
Yes.
But thinking about the angle of her getting a job that you just talked about, are you saying after she has given the man space, or while still in that house?
You have to give the man some space, definitely.
Okay.
You can't remain in that house and get it, because the man will not allow it.
Okay.
And the beating will not stop. And the man will always influence the family against that. The probably he has been doing that.
Okay.
You don't know. So she needs to give the man some space. Probably somewhere far away from the man. If possible, she can put her children with the family member. She can get a life for herself. And she can probably draw the children to her around. But for now, she just needs to and she needs to buy the Okay.
All right, thank you so much for that. I'm so sure she heard that as well. I mean, different perspectives, but definitely still talking about the same issue. And one angle that Fasonya came from that I'm thinking, can we explore that angle as well? Could this man possibly really have psychological issues that he's not even aware of, talk less of the woman knowing? Can we explore that angle? What do you think? Hello, good evening. Hello? Are you there?
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yes, my name is Ibukunoluwa. I'm calling from the Ibukunoluwa Road in Nigeria.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah. You see, it's not compulsory for that woman to remain there because she has a right to live. In the first place, there is a Yoruba that says, what this man has started before their wedding should have taught that woman a big lesson. And after getting insight, getting married, this man continues the way he's been doing. Why did she have to give birth to up to 6 children under that situation, under that condition? That is not marriage. Separation is definitely from divorce. She should go back and look for work Or yes, she should go back to look for work to take care of her children. And that man should be taken to family court. That man should be taken to family court. The family court will not separate them. They don't separate people they don't separate couple in the family court. They will want the man. They will want him not to try that type of thing again. So the woman should go and rethink, go back and look for work. Suppose the man dies. So our children will suffer. Why didn't she have to resign from where she's working? Nobody. Yes, of course. Why did she have to resign? She doesn't have to resign at all. They should take the man to the family court to warn him. Otherwise, they will send him to prison for beating his wife. For what reason? So the woman should concentrate on how to settle down elsewhere for now. For now, she has a right to live and the life of her children too. And she should go look for work. That's all.
All right. Thank you so much for that. 0809-155-1005 is talking about the woman taking the legal step against the husband. And one thing that kept on ringing in my head when it was talking about that perspective is how, when it comes to the law has to do with evidence. It has to do with not what you claim, and not just what you claim has happened to you, but also the evidences that you have, how you can prove that this was really done to you. And don't let us forget the fact that this is someone that also does not have a job. How does she foot such bill as well? And also, let's talk about father figure, because we're not talking about just one child, 2 children, 3 children. We're talking about 6 children. What happens to the father figure for such children as well? And, some of the points that have been raised by the callers, the contributions that we've had so far is she going to pick shame at children, life, or survival? But what do you think? Hello, good evening. Are you there? Okay, let's try the other line. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, my Joa.
Good evening, Amidumbo. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Happy Sunday.
Happy month.
I wish you the same.
Yeah.
Are you fasting, Amid?
Of course, nah.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, for me, like the other caller said, for me, that man is a very wicked man. He didn't question marry a monster, athlete, and a first center man. And I suspect that maybe the lady doesn't really have a very good family that can support her. But I wonder why she didn't let them know that this man normally beat her. It is not true. Like they say, they knew that the man was beat her.
Slapped her, yes.
The woman needs to open up to her family. Like Yoruba will say, okay, so shall do. You have to go back to your parents, let them know what is going on in the marriage. So if you die today, someone else will take care of those kids that you are concerned about. I think the best thing is to separate from the man now, even though the man doesn't have a job. But I would have advised the woman to go for legal backing, so that the man will take responsibility of those kids. That would be better, like the other caller said. You can go to any NGO to call the man, talk to the man, so that the man can take care of the kids. But that woman needs to leave that house if she wants to live long. So that's my advice for her.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. 0809-155-1055. Do you agree with all the contributions that we've had so far, or what angle can you see this story from? I mean, when Hamid was talking, I kind of think about how does a 38-year-old muster up the courage to go back to a home that she grew up in and, go back to being dependent on a parent where the parent who at that age she probably should be thinking about them being dependent, or at least she taking care of them. This is someone that was to a large extent independent because she had a job until she had to sacrifice it with the hope of, the marriage becoming better, only for her to now find herself in this particular situation. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. My name is Benjamin.
Benjamin, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Malakia.
From Malakia. Happy Sunday, Benjamin.
Yeah, I wish you the best.
Okay.
So a quick one. I'm trying to look at this from the angle of courts. So if you get married to a man that is violent and then you had 6 children, let's even say you had 1 child per year, which is impossible. So you've been together for over 6 years, and then your people are not they are not taking action that to save you from it. At least that's the obvious thing. It doesn't mean that they are not taking any action. So whatever action had not really saved you. So I am looking at, I totally condemn the man. It doesn't make any sense. That's a beast of a human being to raise your hand against a woman for whatever. I'm married, so I know what I'm saying. So I look at it like, is it that this woman also has some things in her kitchen? Why have people decide to leave her to suffer alone with that man? Because I don't think that is, it doesn't make any sense. It will not be up to 6 children before the family will take a decisive action, except they are taking those actions and the woman is not supporting that action. So they got tired and they left her to her fate. Now, the thing is from the family side, because I really want to blame her family and the family of the man for allowing that to fester till now. What has their role been? And then what kind of a woman is this woman? Of course, the man is a beast anyway, forget whichever way. It doesn't make sense to me, whatever it is his reason could be. But I'm just worried about what kind of a person is that woman. So what if it is something that she is an architect of, that is causing her this thing? I think the whole thing has to start with her own change of attitude, her own. Now, she has been working before, so it means that she can still work. She has something, she has a value that she can offer for money or something. So she could go back to that. But it's not like quitting now. See, the only straight thing to do is to leave that marriage. That's the first thing. The children, the shame, all those things will take shape. All those things, you can walk around them eventually, because she needs to be alive, hale and healthy, for whatever anybody is doing to mean anything to her. For the state of, or the condition of her children to matter to her.
Okay.
She has to first have a life, then second, have a health.
Okay.
Then every other thing can then come after.
Okay.
But this has to be a process, because she does not have a job, she does not have a source of survivor except this man. And this is where I said, why has the family left her like that for so long? Because she needs that support. That's the way I see it.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Benjamin. I'm so sure she heard that as well. Thank you so much. Also, Samuel, Adesoya, Batsi, Hamid, and of course, you listening right now. The phone lines are still buzzing, but time is no longer on my side. I have to go right about now. But the conversation continues on Facebook. The video will be right there in case you want to make a reference to it on Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan. And also at Real Omajuwa on Facebook. The first story is right there in case you would like to let the woman know what you're still thinking, the angle that you're thinking from. Maybe there's a way that you think that she can handle the situation better, especially for her own sake and of course the children's sake. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. The show definitely returns next week, Sunday, by 5 p.m. I am Ibukunoluwa Olagunju, but you can call me Oma Joa. Have a fantastic Sunday.
Splash FM 105.5.
Hello. Welcome to our special program on spiritual enlightenment and unfolding world events, brought to you by the Grow Movement Nigeria.
Today's topic is there a last judgment? Hello. Our topic today is a question. Is there a last judgment? Many religions speak of it. However, the question arises mainly, because of the lack of a precise idea of its nature, its aim, and process. The Grail message explains that the Last Judgment is, among other things, a natural happening anchored in the divine law of cycles, which applies to all things existing in the world. By divine law, everything here goes through a strict cycle of a beginning, a period of development to maturity, followed by aging, disintegration, and subsequent regeneration. Our Earth, with everything living in it, is no exception. Today, the increasing natural catastrophic events, including the pestilences, climate change, and the socio-political distress everywhere, are all indications of the final stage of the Earth's life cycle and the onset of the Last Judgment. For us human beings, our existence began in paradise, the highest part of creation. There, in the beginning, we were unconscious spirit seeds, which, like all seeds, harbored the capability and the longing to develop to full maturity and self-consciousness. To achieve this, however, we had to leave our home in paradise and come here into the world of matter, where, by living and experiencing according to the divine will, we would gradually attain the level of maturity necessary for admittance back into paradise. This alone is the purpose of life on earth. Unfortunately, during millions of years on earth, in what is now generally known as the fall of man,